I'm Sherry Austin, RN and Executive Longevity Advisor. I advise CEOs and senior leaders to protect decision quality to prevent hidden risk as they scale. We spend a lot of time talking about burnout at the executive level, but burnout is not the most expensive problem in your organization. Underthinking is, and it's far more costly than most leaders realize. The real executive problem isn't exhaustion, it's expensive underthinking. Most senior leaders are not failing because they don't work hard enough. They're failing because they are forced into a constant state of reactivity. And reactivity compresses thinking. And when thinking is compressed, decision quality declines. When decision quality declines, the entire organization absorbs the cost. This is not a personal productivity issue, it's an organizational performance risk. McKinsey research consistently shows that a small number of high-quality decisions drive disproportionate value creation. And Harvard Business Review has published extensively on the scarcity of strategic thinking time among executives and how urgent demands crowd out high-leverage work. There's also strong evidence that CEO effectiveness has an outsized impact on company performance, often accounting for a significant percentage of variance in outcomes. So when a senior leader is operating in reactive mode, the cost is not linear, it's exponential. Because every compromised decision scales across teams, capital allocation, and strategy execution. We tend to think of opportunity cost in financial terms, but at the executive level, the real opportunity cost is cognitive. Every hour spent in low-value reactivity is not just time lost, it's a high-quality decision that didn't happen. It's a strategic insight that didn't surface. It's a risk that wasn't identified early. And most importantly, it's clarity that never reached the organization. That absence becomes a tax, a hidden productivity tax that shows up as misalignment, slower execution, and diluted strategy. When executive thinking is fragmented, three things happen downstream. First, priorities blur. Teams start optimizing for activity instead of outcomes. Second, decision velocity decreases. Not because people are slow, but because clarity is missing. And third, risk increases because no one has the cognitive bandwidth to see around corners. This is how organizations become busy but not effective. And it often traces back to one root issue. The leader does not have time or protected space to think. High-performing executives do not just manage time, they protect thinking. They treat cognitive capacity as a strategic asset because it is. That means they design their calendar around decision quality, not availability. They reduce exposure to low-leverage inputs. They create deliberate space for deep strategic work because they understand something most organizations miss. The highest ROI activity in leadership is not doing, it's thinking well before acting. If you're leading at scale, your role is not to be accessible at all times. Your role is to make fewer but better decisions because those decisions shape the trajectory of the entire organization. So the question is not, how do I manage my time better? The question is, what is the cost of not protecting my thinking? That's where the real risk is, and that's where the real opportunity is. And for many leaders, this is the constraint no one is measuring. It doesn't show up on a dashboard, but it shows up everywhere in performance. If this reflects a hidden constraint in your organization, DM me Burnout or use the link in my banner to explore a more strategic approach to sustaining decision quality. Because at this level, protecting how you think is part of how you lead. Thank you for joining this mini LinkedIn Live executive session. I'll see you soon.